One of the biggest things that I hear from people when I'm coaching them is that they don't have enough time to accomplish all the things: making social media content, creating ad campaigns, landing pages, writing ads, reaching out to people, getting on sales calls to build their business. And they're wondering, how do I build a business when I have so much going on, so many responsibilities and priorities and things that I just can't stop doing? This is often the case for many people when they got a lot going on, whether it's kids, the gym, church, life, whatever that is. And the truth is that you have to realize how to structure and prioritize your life and your actions to best serve you. The biggest reason why we're not productive when we have so much going on is a little bit of a lack of prioritization and the order that we prioritize things. And so what I found is that you can simply accomplish more when you have so much going on by just flipping the order of what you need. If you notice that you're not having enough time to get things done, move the thing that you're having no time to get done in front of the list. You're still going to do the rest of the things that you have a habit of doing, but you're going to move that thing that you keep putting off up to the front of the list. And so I started doing this where if I needed to write sales copy, a blog post, emails, reach out to people, I would do this in the morning, or I would do it in the evening, whatever was my most productive time that I knew that I would do. So I had to prioritize these things and say, you know what, that's as important as taking care of these other things. That's as important as going to the gym. That's as important as hopping on a sales call. That's as important as. Now, your thing might not be the morning. Your time of day might not be that. Don't compare the time of day and say, well, because I don't have that time of day, I can't do this. We all prioritize things. And so I want you to look at what's the time of day that you find that you most get busy doing things that's your most productive. You want to identify this. And then take the things that you have been putting off and just take 15 to 20 minutes and do the thing, a little bit of it. You're not going to complete it, by the way. You're not going to finish the whole project. But you're going to take 15 to 20 minutes to work on that thing that you've been putting off during your most productive time. If you do this and develop a habit of doing this over the course of a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you will be absolutely blown away and shocked by how much you get done and didn't lose any time to do the rest of the things that you had priorities to do. Because we prioritized giving ourselves that time to do that. The other thing is that I notice people, if they can't do it perfectly, if they can't get done perfectly, if they can't finish the thing that they get started in 15 to 20 minutes, they won't even do it at all. They won't even get started doing anything, because then they start beating themselves up and being critical because they either didn't do it or didn't get started do it or didn't complete it. And this creates a vicious cycle in their lives. And when I coach with people, this is a big part of what we talk about is how do we take all of the pieces and put them in order to get results, to get sales, to create profit in your business. Many times this involves taking some of the things that we think that we need to do, that we think that we need to spend our time doing building a business, and cutting them off, cutting them out, the business activities. We have this list of, I have to do all of this before my business is successful. And I find many times with clients, I say, let's cut off 25% of that. The 25% that's most overwhelming you right now, that's most time consuming of all of those tasks that you have to do, and do the 75% that you can easily do. And this little tweak creates massive results for them. And so this is why I talk so often about, it's not about perfection, it's about results. Listen, if you're not going to get started and stay at 0% because you can't have 100%, and you're allowing that little bit of a 25% of time-sucking activities to keep you from ever even getting started, that's not going to help you. And that's going to be a hamster wheel that I see many people on for years, months and years at a time, because they're waiting until the perfect situations in their life happen when they can finally focus and go all in. Going all in is doing your best with the amount of time that you have, prioritizing the most important activities, giving yourself grace, and not being critical with yourself if you can't do all the things perfectly, by doing what you know is going to get you to that next step by taking the steps forward to get the wheels turning. That simple action of getting the wheels turning is life-changing for everybody that I coach, for everybody that I work with. If we get into a habit of doing nothing and we actually get so comfortable there that we don't know what it would be like to even get the wheels turning. And many times we're critical about if I don't get everything perfectly done, it's not good enough. Listen, it is good enough. You are good enough to get started, to do the things. Anybody that I've ever seen who's successful that has massive results, it was by compounding little actions that they did over time. It was never, ever, 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 ever them waiting until they could do 100% all at once. Nobody. There's not a single story of a successful person where they waited until the day that they could do all the things before they got started. They got started with what the resources they had, with what they could do imperfectly, staying faithful, staying consistent, and working on themselves to grow in that area. And so many times we have to realize, what is keeping me from doing that? Listen, if you don't know what to do, if you need to learn something, that's your next step, to learn what you don't know. This is what I work with a lot of people when I'm doing one-on-one coaching, is I'm walking them through step by step what they need to learn in a strategic way. And if you do know what to do, here's the other side of the people that I coach, but you're having trouble just doing those things because you have so much going on, we have to look at, why am I doing that? What am I benefiting from waiting and putting this off until later? And many times it's a feeling that we know that it's going to be perfect later, so we're actually, that's a comfort zone that we've always lived in, so we're afraid of stepping out of that comfort zone by doing it imperfectly. We're afraid of stepping out of that perfection cycle by doing anything, and because that's the benefit, we know, well, hey, we have something to blame if nothing works. We can blame it not being a perfect scenario for why we haven't gotten started. And this is usually the cycle that most people are on when they know what to do and aren't taking action, because they've gotten into that cycle. They're beating themselves up. They're being critical. They're not giving themselves grace to take imperfect action. And many times, if you've grown up in a way where you were in a critical environment, you have these voices in your head that are being critical with you constantly when you're not doing everything perfectly. Yeah, you have to actually say, listen, I'm going to take action imperfectly. I'm going to take steps forward towards my goals. I'm going to start to do the things that is going to set me up for success today, instead of waiting until the day that I have all the pieces together to get started. And many of you right now that are watching this video, you've been waiting until you have all the pieces together to hop on those free calls that I offer, those free 15-minute coaching calls where I talk and we can strategize what the next steps are for you. Listen, if that's you, if you're somebody that's been waiting until you have all the pieces together for us to talk, that's the perfect time to hop on the phone, because I'd love to help you kind of grease the wheels a little bit, grease the gears, get some things flowing, help some ideas get flowing for you to start to take action here this week. And so if you haven't yet, I'm going to leave a link on this post. You can schedule a 15-minute call with me. We can go over what are your goals, what are your sticking points, and how to get you to the next level. These aren't sales calls, by the way. These are strategy calls. If one-on-one coaching with me makes sense, I will mention that, but most of the people I hop on the calls with, I'll either direct them to some action steps they can take or a podcast episode to listen to. If you're somebody that wants to start taking steps forward to get to the next level, hop on that call with me. I look forward to talking with you. We'll talk soon. Have a good one, everybody.